Welcome to Vape and Juice TV. It's the £10 vape kit versus the £80 vape kit. Now, before I go on, I know someone's going to watch this in about 7 months' time or a year's time and go, I can get that for a fiver, mate. I can get that for 40 quid. I'm speaking hypothetically. What we're going to talk about today is what's the difference between your basic petrol station starter kit and something a bit flashier. Okay, so today for this particular video, we're going to talk about the C4 starter kit. Got it here in two parts, which is a battery and what's called a clearomizer. They've been going for many, many years. You see them at petrol stations, markets, and they're just a very entry-level part of the game. They serve a purpose. I quit smoking using these, but they're certainly not gonna do much more than show you that vaping can work. Other end of the market, we're going to talk about the Wismec Active. I called this our £80 vape. Once you've got the batteries and charger, that's pretty much how much they work out for. This little bad boy, which we'll open the box and show you, has a Bluetooth speaker in it. So can't hear any. No, hang on. No, this hasn't got a Bluetooth speaker. So you throw away already. But let's have a look at it. Let's dive right in. So the C4 starter kit has been on the market for many, many years, and let's just open the boxes and show you what you get inside the kit. You can see there's a lot everywhere, and we used to have them in our shops when we first started. We sold tons of these. People would come in and they'd buy 4 or 5 at a time, and they're effectively just we'll just keep going the whole way, and they look like this. So it's a little battery with a plastic clearomizer. It's called clearomizer because they're clear. Atomizer. You fill it up by sticking your e-liquid down the side of the glass, and inside it's got some little cotton threads that absorb the juice into a little coil. When you press the heating button, it vaporizes the liquid. You're having to fight gravity because the coil is up the top, so where some of the better kits have the coil lower, which means they're immediately getting hit by the liquid, it can be frustration, but they do a basic job. I always used to say to people, they're good for a few weeks to tell you if vaping can work for you. Battery life is limited to this tiny little cell here, so you've not got a lot of battery life. You're going to be recharging it up a lot. These tops can last for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but they can also die before you even use them. And they also don't give the best range of flavours. They're very limited to the types of liquids you can use. You can only use high PG, which is runnier liquid. Generally the starter liquid. So none of the big bottles you see out there, when you see the jam donut flavoured e-liquid, you're not really going to get away with putting that in there. It's just going to jam up and burn. And so a lot of them, we used to find an awful lot of these tops here they'd be dead on arrival. They wouldn't even work. And if you leave them overnight, we had tester stations where there are banks of them, and then in the morning you just have runny liquid all around the sides of them, which was annoying for the staff to have to clean up, but it's also annoying if that's in your pocket and it's leaking out and you're wondering where you're getting all this sticky stuff. E-liquid's hydrophobic, or I think it's hydrophobic, which means they're waterproof, so they can be quite difficult to clean up at times. So that's probably the downside about it. What's it good for? It's good for a tenner, for a fiver, for 7 quid, whatever it is in your local quickie mart. It'll tell you if vaping works for you. And look, it's a darn sight cheaper than smoking cigarettes. And if for less than a box of cigarettes you can find out if vaping can help you quit smoking and potentially reduce your risk of heart attacks and strokes, then that's a winner. That's great, yeah? That's great. But is it a long-term device? No. What are you going to get out of this? You're going to get, this is good for nicotine hit because it uses runnier liquids, higher PG liquids. We've got a video on that coming up this week, so subscribe to us and find out about that. It's good to find out nicotine hits. Super flavours, you're not going to get the superb flavours in there. You're going to get very simple flavours because the type of liquids that you can use in it are simple liquids. And you're not going to get massive clouds. If you want a vape that's going to give you a big cloud and you buy this, you're barking up the wrong tree. But there you go, for a tenner, 7 or 8 quid, whatever, that's what you get with it. You get a leaky, short-term, short-life battery. But hey, for that money, if I can tell you to quit smoking, then that's good. So for more money, what do you get? So here we've got the Wismec Active, which is a kit. It's a battery. Look at that. How fancy is that? How fancy? It's not even a word. I made up a word. It got its own word for this video. That's how fancy it is. It's got a Bluetooth speaker in there. Now, not all vape kits come with a Bluetooth speaker, I'm sure you can imagine. And we thought this actually was a bit of a gimmick when we first saw this, but it's actually a really decent speaker for this one. And the good thing about it as well, so let's actually talk about it, rather than talking about this particular device, let's talk about higher end kits. So this kit can use pretty much any liquid on the market. So that's an upside. So all the liquids you see on the news or you see shared on Instagram or Facebook and you go, oh, I want a bit of that. If you got one of these, chances are you probably can't have a bit of that. If you got one of these, chances are you definitely can have a bit of that. So that's upside as well. That gives you more opportunity to enjoy a wider range of liquids and flavours out there. If you can't get on with a particular liquid and you're using a cheaper kit, using a higher end kit that gives you a much wider range of liquids out there, you might find one that meets your palate, and it may mean you stick to it a lot more, therefore smoke less cigarettes. So that's good. What else? So here, what you can see with this kit here in particular, let's take it apart. It's a box mod. Well, was a box mod. It's a box mod. They call it a box mod because it's shaped like a box. They're not all boxes. You can get higher end kits that are cylindrical, phallic shaped. So it's got a built-in battery. Some kits do have a removable battery when they're box mods, which is kind of good because, and you can get this at the same price range as these as well. So again, this is kind of hypothetical really. I'm talking more about what you get for your money difference. But a built-in battery, what does that mean? That means the battery's inside, you can't remove it. Removable batteries mean you can remove it, so when the battery life starts to degrade, which does happen when you keep recharging batteries, you can bin it off and get some new ones and get a fresh lease of life. But so this particular device is a built-in battery, but Wismec say they come with a warranty, whereas this little boy wouldn't have a warranty. So let's click it a few times. What else do you get there? You get a nice screen here, little digital display screen. You get that, which you don't get here. Now, what's the benefit of a display screen? Well, one, you can see what power you've got left on your device, so you can see if you need to recharge it. So rather than guessing, oh, it feels a bit like, after a while with these ones, when the battery starts to go, you feel like, is it the battery? What's wrong with this? Is it the top? Is it the clearomizer? And so you can be caught short. And with this, you don't get caught short, not unless you're a fool. But the good thing as well, it's micro USB chargeable. So you've got around here, all covered up with a natty little rubber grip. A little USB charger point there, which means you can charge it up and you can vape it. You can't charge this up and vape it. So if your battery dies, not only do you know when your battery's about to die on this, you also have the option of using it while it's being charged up. Add to that, you have the option of using it while charging it and listening to music. You can't do that. But also you can adjust the power. So you can, if you've got a different sort of flavour, you prefer a certain different temperatures, different heat. With certain liquids, they work better when they're warmer. They work better if they're you've got more airflow. Work better if they're colder temperatures. And you can play around with it to your heart's content. So if you want to get really into vaping and really into becoming a flavourist, which is a thing, you can do that with this kit. So it's kind of upgradable mentally in your head, for example. So you can go. You get a kit like this now, and you don't really need to upgrade. You get a kit like this, and the chances are you're going to go, oh, this is quite good, I want to get better liquids, I want more cloud, I want more flavour, I want longer life batteries. So you're buying again. So the reality is you buy one of these, you buy some clearomizers, you buy again, you buy cheap, you buy twice. So this is the tank that comes with it in the kit. So it's a battery and a tank. And it has a removable drip tip, so you can change that over, which means you can customise it, which is kind of cool. Also it's plastic, some of them are metal in some kits. But you might prefer a metal one, you might prefer a plastic one, you might prefer a long tube. On the bottom, you see this little spinning round ring here. This is adjustable airflow. Adjustable airflow can do a number of things, such as make your coils last longer. It can make your flavours taste better. It can make your cloud bigger. And some people just prefer it. You know, you can, if you vape with it's called a tight draw. So by opening and closing the airflow, you're talking about a draw, and it's the same with a cigarette. When you smoke a silk cut, if you look very carefully in the tip, there's lots of little holes in them, and that means you're sucking outside of a vacuum. So it could be quite an open draw, like quite airy. Whereas other cigarettes don't have that, and it's much tighter. Likewise with vaping, things like this with no adjustable airflow, it's quite a tight draw. It feels quite a strain in your neck. Whereas this, open airflow, big, nice and airy, it's just a lot easier to vape, but also more airflow means you've got bigger clouds as well. So that's pretty cool. Again, it's a feature. This tank as well is removable. So what does that mean? If there's new developments in tank technology out there, which there are, lots of changes, you might find you don't like this style of tank, you might find you want a bigger tank, you might find you want different types of coils. Again, with this, because it unscrews, job's a good one. You are not going to screw this tank. Well, you can, but it won't work, and it look ridiculous. Let's just do it. For giggles, for S&Gs, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Like a drumstick, like a lolly. like a Doctor Who's one. Probably just offended loads of Doctor Who fans out there. Anyway, so that's that. So you don't just get a bigger battery. I mean, this battery life is 2,000. I think it's 2,000 milliamps per hours, which is, and this is 650. So rather than getting caught up in all the numbers, this battery's got about 3 times the life of this. So that's pretty cool. This particular tank as well, it comes with, has a range of different. See how you fill it up actually. Has a range of different coils. So inside this little thing here, I said about it had a coil. It's got a thread with a little. It runs into a wire coil at the top. I'll bring that close there. They all work in a similar way, but just some work slightly differently. This one here at the bottom, you can see coil opening windows, little circles. Let's get it open. Let's unscrew it. Just keep unscrewing it. Here we go. So this here, look at that. That's basically the size of the other clearamide, and that's just the coil. If you look inside it, you'll see cotton tube circle, and the cotton. What happens is these little circular holes absorb the liquid. Liquid sits in the cotton, and when you fire the vape button, which has got super fast heating as well, it then vaporizes the liquid in the cotton, and then the coil goes back to a normal state of colour, so non-boiling hot, and then every time you press the button, it glows red. So that's how they work really. But that, again, so that's a lot more power you're going to get through that with this than you are with this device. Also, this particular tank has a range of different options of these coils, which means if you want something that's going to make big clouds, there's a coil for that. And if you want a coil that's better for nicotine here and for all-day vaping, we call it, where sort of your more kind of your liquid that. Your sort of thinner liquids, ones that are for high nicotine. There's a coil for that as well. So again, so not just is the kit versatile in terms of what you can change to it, it's also versatile in the tank as well. So you can have different types. These are called coils or atomizers. You can change these as well. With these kits, there's generally really only one. There's a few different versions of this, but they all do the same thing for the same liquids. Whereas this tank, you can do many different types of liquids and many different needs. So if your need is quick smoking and you want high nicotine hit, done. If you want big clouds, done. If you want to put another tank on it, done. If you want longer battery life, done. There's a lot more options. So that's what you're getting with your money. Let's just screw that back in again. It's going to show to the camera as well the adjustable airflow ring on the bottom here. You see those holes straight through it there? You can spin that round. Nice ergonomic grip with these little ridges as well, which means you can adjust the draw, make it tighter, make it looser. Again, something you don't have on the £10 vape kit, you do have it on the £80 vape kit. Again, that's something you want to be looking for, is adjustable airflow. You can change the glass, so if this plastic cracks here, bin it. If this plastic cracks, you can replace it and keep using it, whereas here you have to bin the whole thing. So that's that there. Let's just see, how we load this one. Oh, here you go. Again, another advantage of a better quality vape kit. How you're going to fill it up? You fill it up from the top. So you haven't got to take the whole thing off. You just slide the top to the side. Look at that. It's pretty cool. This is the Wismec Active, for those who are interested in what kit this is. A lot of these kits are doing this now. The UL Crown 4, which is another new tank that's out, that has a refill mechanism like that. You just slide it, you stick the needle to your bottle, down there, bang, slide it, good to vape. This, unscrew the top, try and put it in there carefully. It's a top fill, but it's a lot messier. And also, these things are built with tons of, they've got loads of O-rings around them. They've got spare O-rings in the box. O-rings, rubber O-rings that go around all of the points of connection. Table moves just there, so it is just a plank of wood. And it stops it from leaking, whereas these things have a tendency to leak out the bottom. They're not sort of airtight or watertight. So that's what you get there. Just screw it on. Wismec makes some really cool mods. It's got a lovely little rubber grip to it as well. So every part of this has been built with the user in mind, whereas this is much more about being basic. So if you want to know what's the difference between a £10 vape and an £80 vape, well, there you go. You're going to get a lot more battery life, you're going to get a lot more functionality, you're going to get other options. So this one's got it's got a speaker. They don't all come with a speaker, but they may have removable batteries instead. It's got adjustable coils, so you can have big clouds, big flavour, you can have big nicotine hits without having it too strong. Just so much. You can change the drip tips, you can change the airflow. Little lanyard holder. This particular one's pretty sturdy, so it's great for a building site as well. But yeah, there you go. That's in short. If you want to know what's the difference between a basic starter kit and you pay a bit more money, what else you can get, If you buy one of these, you're going to be spending money on upgrades in the meantime. In fact, if you buy this one and then that one breaks or your snaps in your back pocket, this is the other thing actually as well. These things people always bring back in with these bits broken, and it's because they put it in their pocket and it snaps. You're not really going to snap that because it's going to feel like you're sitting on an elephant's weapon, which isn't very comfortable. So that's a problem. You're going to end up spending loads of money on cheap naff products. Not to say that this company made cheap naff products. It's just in terms of the whole spectrum of vaping. This is the very, very early levels. And you buy one of these, you break it, you buy another one, then you try and buy another cheap, sort of slightly better starter kit. You end up spending a load of money. I would just say, look, spend a bit of money. It's about helping you quit smoking. You spend a bit more money and get something like this. You got a speaker. Sure, someone probably make one with a toothbrush soon or something as well, or a vibe. But yeah, that's it. That's what you get for your money. So I hope you found this useful. That's Vape and Juice TV. Hit the subscribe link. We do more videos of that. We do some unboxings, reviews, CBD advice. Check us out, vapeandjuice.co.uk. And we're not just a video channel, we've got loads of stores as well. So if you're in the UK and you want to find out where your nearest Vape and Juice store is, head to vapeandjuice.co.uk, hit the stores, and you'll find places like Islington, Enfield, Margate, Canterbury, Canvey, Southend, Basildon, Colchester. Loads of them! Oh, and Somerset too. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Ta-da!